Good evening. You know, Dale, I'm going to stop coming to this if every time I come I have to give a speech. I have mostly enjoyed my first year in the Hall of Fame. Mostly, I say. The hard part was at the beginning getting all those pestering phone calls from Bert Blyleven about how I got into the Hall of Fame so fast. And now that Bill Cooper's in the Hall, do we need to start calling Wayzata Cooperstown? I thought that was pretty good. I'm happy to be up here tonight to introduce a Minnesota original, Guy Mingo. We talk a lot about trying to maintain our economic strength in Minnesota, and that's good. But we also need to make sure this is a place where somebody can start from nothing and end up big. Our hope for the future is not just hanging on to what we've got, but keeping the dream of upward mobility alive. For thousands of people tonight, couldn't afford this dinner, but someday can be in this Hall of Fame. In 1969, Skip Marsden began calling on me for business. I was about to open a new building, the American National Bank building in St. Paul. Skip had one sales pitch. He would say, "If there's a problem, we'll fix it. And you can trust us. We at Marsden will never do what isn't right for the customer." Well, 8 years later, Skip asked to see me. He said, "I have a young fellow I want you to meet." By this time, I was heading up the real estate for Norwest Bank. We all remember that bank. But I knew if Skip wanted me to meet someone, it was important. This young fellow was Guy Mingo. Skip had an eye for talent. From the moment we met, I knew Guy was different. He wasn't just there, he was a presence. He fully occupied his space. He became the personification of Marsden, of Marsden's mission, the corporate plan with skin on it. We talk a lot about business marketing, capitalization, strategic planning, but this success story is also about the power of friendship. From the time they met, Skip and Guy were inseparable. While at work, Guy progressed from building cleaner to account manager to director of operations and then to president and CEO. When not at work, Skip and Guy were hunting and fishing together. Guy has the unusual experience today of being a part of one company from the age of 28 years old on. His education, his maturity, his life story, and his success revolve around one company. This company, under his total leadership of 9 years, has grown tremendously in sales and profitability. During this downturn, Marsden, under Guy's leadership, has grown into 32 states and has markets in the West, East, all around the country. Ronald Reagan, my hero, said the measure of a person's life is planting shade trees they will never get to sit under. Guy is making great plans for how the Marsden legacy can, someday after he's gone, fulfill the dreams of a young kid who works hard and thinks big, someone just like him. Guy has continued a legacy began in 1952 and continues to grow it with integrity and honesty. You want to look for hope? I give you Guy Mingo, the first former building cleaner to enter the Minnesota Business Hall of Fame.
I'm privileged to be here and humbled by the group of people that are on these podiums. I started working for the company in 1978 by the advice of my girlfriend, who's now my wife, Patsy, who's sitting at the table. I only had one other job besides this one in a small convenience store not too far from the house, and didn't make enough money, so I had to do something. I told her I needed to do something different, and she agreed. Since I was about to have to pay half the rent, we were moving out. So she was working at Marsden, said, "Why don't you come down? It's a good place to work," and I did. So in the summer of '78, I started with the company, and about 5 years later is when I had an opportunity to meet Skip Marsden, our founder, and it had a profound effect on my life. I mean, Skip was a very unique individual, and over time became a father figure, became a friend, and certainly a mentor to me. He had a passion right up to the day that he passed away that I've never seen in anybody before. He was driven, he was competitive, he was passionate about the business and passionate about the people that work there, and he was true to the belief that you treat people fair and you treat customers fair, and good things will happen to you. Well, right around 2008, Skip had come to me and he said, "I think it's time that we sell the business." It was time for him to take his chips off the table, and I think he knew that he needed to spend some time, wanted to spend more time at home, and so we decided to do that. And we sold the business, and that's when I became CEO of the company. My dream and vision was to really take the company to the next level. I believe that in order for us to preserve our longevity, that we needed to become more than a small regional and a local company. So we set out to do a number of acquisitions, and we were very fortunate to find some good companies and to find companies that had like cultures and had great, committed, passionate people. And so over a short period of time, we acquired 21 companies, and people ask what our greatest short-term success has been, and I always have the same answer. It's that we've built an incredible management team, leadership team. It truly is, success is truly not done on your own. It requires people. It requires a team of people. Every once in a while, my wife will remind me to get over myself. It's not all about me. And that's true. I found that out. I've learned that along the way from Skip. It truly is about people and about a team. I want to talk just a little bit about my family. My children are here as well. Samantha, who just had our first grandson back in February, and Michael, and my daughter Tiffany. And I was thinking about that driving down here, and in all honesty, I have to say this is probably the first time that all of my kids have been to a business function in the 33 years that I've been with the company all at one time. And I think it's probably my fault, because I used to always say, I'm not going to take you anywhere until you're old enough to behave yourself. And tonight's the night, kids. But I owe a lot to my family, to my kids, and my wife. My wife, who's been at my side since junior high school. They were there. She was there raising the kids when I was working, and Skip and I used to come in sometimes at 2, 3 in the morning. This is a night business, and we were gone a lot and away from the family. And you turn around and 33 years has gone by, our kids are grown, they're starting to have kids of their own. It's been wonderful and fulfilling to be able to spend more and more time with the kids, and I've been afforded that opportunity because of the management team that we're building. Somebody asked me or called me and congratulated me along the way after I received notice of the being inducted, and they said, what's your plans? Are you going to retire? I said, I'm only 51 years old. I can't retire. I got a lot of tread left on these tires yet, and I haven't completed my mission. We still got a lot to accomplish in the business. And we really did set out to turn this into a national organization, not to be the biggest, but to be a respected organization. And it was really for longevity. It was about long-term survival of the company, that it was becoming more and more difficult to survive in one or a small number of markets, and I believed we had to become a larger player in order to have that long-term success, and probably most importantly, to provide people within the organization the opportunity that I had. And as I've grown in this job, and I've come to really understand more and better what my role is. It really is, my role is really to, as Skip used to say, it's all about finding the right people and put those people in place, and they'll make things happen for you. And that clearly is my role, is to pick the right people, get them into the right spots in the organization, let them do what they're good at, and will continue to be successful. We've had a great deal of success. We've been running hard the last eight years, but it's been a lot of fun. And a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people grow in the organization, which is very special to me. The other thing is giving back to the community, committing time to help organizations that need to raise money, organizations that are helping underprivileged children is a passion of mine. Something I enjoy doing, something I want to continue to do. I've learned a lot. It reminds me of my past and where I came from, and that's something I say I never forget where you come from. You know, when I think about this and, you know, people ask me about, you know, how I feel about Minnesota, I say, you know, it really is Minnesota nice. I mean, I've now worked in a lot of different places, a lot of different cities, and I've met a lot of great people, but this is really home, and you feel like home, and you feel welcome, and I'm glad and I'm proud to be part of Minnesota. The last thing I would tell you is, you know, I thank the management team that we brought along tonight. Sita Moran's the president of Marsden Holding, and Chris Reed, our chief financial officer. They really provide good, sound advice to me on a daily basis. They're always there when I need them and willing to do whatever it is that we need them to do. Sue, I want to give you a special thanks. I know Skip isn't here with us, and I was honored that you would join us. I wish he was up here at the podium with me as well, because he really is, as I've said, the legacy of the company. Our job as the management team is to be the future of the company, and that's what we're going to continue to do. You know, aside from that, great family. I've met a lot of friends along the way. I've had a few mentors. Skip was certainly one. Dave Frauenschuh, when Skip passed away, really put his hand out and said, hey, if there's anything I can do for you, I'm here for you, and he has been there for me, somebody I can bounce things off of, and sometimes we just meet for breakfast and we talk about Skip and sometimes cry a little bit. They both have had a profound influence on my life, and it is all about people and friends and family. I can't ask for any more. I mean, people ask me how I feel. I say I'm living the dream. You know, I'm living the U.S. dream, and life's great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dale Kirshner, Editor-in-Chief of Twin Cities Business, and with me tonight is Guy Mingo, CEO of Marsden Holding. Over the years, how have you seen the business climate in Minnesota change, and how would you say it's changed across the country as well?
In this particular market, the competition is grown. There's more competitors here than there were 10 or 15 years ago. So everybody vying for, you know, roughly the same amount of space, because there hasn't been a lot of real growth in commercial office buildings.
What do you think about the Minnesota business community? Over the years, you've done a lot individually and professionally. How would you describe our community here and how it's helped you over the years?
Well, I love the community. I mean, I grew up here in Minneapolis, and eventually migrated to St. Paul, and so I've had the pleasure of being able to serve both market areas and grow in the community in both market areas. And I've seen a lot of cities across the country, and you know, when they talk about Minnesota nice, I really think that it is Minnesota nice. I mean, people are professional, they're nice, they're welcoming. It is easy to do business here in the community, and I think the phrase that, you know, it's a small world is true, because a lot of the people that I've met, clients and friends and colleagues, they stay here. So you get to know more and more people over your career. They don't leave. What would you say your individual greatest achievement has been over all the years? Well, I think most of it is come in the in the latter years, really maybe over the last 8. And as I had an opportunity to become CEO and take the reins of the company, I think our greatest short-term success is really the management team that we've put together. We have a great team of professionals, and that has really helped accelerate our growth across the country. What's next for Marsden? Well, I think we're what I would probably consider about halfway through what what was our 15-year plan that we laid out about 8 years ago. The economy certainly has slowed that plan the last couple of years. We had hoped by the end of 2010 to be a $250 million company and somewhere around $500 million by 2015. And I like to think we still have an opportunity at that. We really want to be able to complete our national footprint, which really allows us to be competitive and create the longevity that I'm looking for our organization.
Great. Well, thank you once again for taking some time out, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you.